everybody. My name is Anthony Fragola. I'm the owner and founder of XV Racing and AFragola Design. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be my first video just to kind of give you a little peek at what I do and what I'm going to be talking about in my videos, what I'm going to be documenting, I should say. As you see right off the bat, I'm at my home shop right now. So as you see, I have a MR2 up on the lift. I got another one next to me, and I got a little turbo pit bike project behind me. So I'm going to dive into those in some videos. And I also work out of another shop. I have some space over at Excess Motorworks where I do composite work, and I do some work on a 5-axis CNC machine where I do prototyping for composite products. So I'm going to go over there to that shop. I'm going to take some videos there and kind of show you some of the things I'm doing. Also, some of the people that I work with and some of the cool projects that I get to be a part of. Brian, that owns Excess Motorworks, he has a YouTube channel as well, and he's documenting a build of 2 different supercars that he's doing himself. One's going to be powered by a Tesla motor, and the other a Ford with a blower and a Lamborghini transaxle. So you can definitely see it's going to be pretty extreme, and they're going to be really fun to watch. 2 of those cars go head to head once he gets them done. If you haven't checked them out, you should definitely check them out. I'll put the link in the comments. Another person that's going to be hanging out a lot and helping us is Rashad from Involve Pro. He's done a few different electric vehicles, from a mini bike with a forklift motor on it to a motorcycle with an electric motor on it. So he's going to take part in this MR2 project with me, where we're going to take a Tesla motor and stuff it in the back of this thing with a bunch of batteries, and we're going to try to make a beast out of it. We're not looking for range, we're looking for pure power output on this thing. Not only that, but we're trying to get really low center of gravity and try to not make it any heavier than stock MR2 would be with the turbocharger and a full tank of fuel. So that's going to be a really fun project, and I got a lot of help on board with that. I got Eric from Hux Racing that's going to get involved with helping us design the mount, and from there we're going to see what we can do. I'll cut to it now, show you some of the stuff from the shop, and I hope you guys enjoy, and looking forward to creating some content for everyone. Okay, so now we're in my shop here, my shop space at Excess Motorworks. This is where I do a lot of my layups, my carbon fiber and fiberglass layups, and mold making, that kind of stuff. I wanted to show you another piece that I've been working on. You can see some of this stuff here. This is an original XV Racing motor lid that was made by another company. I designed the first one. I built a prototype and sent it to them. They ended up making a mold and shipping them out overseas to be made. That was a long time ago. So since then, I've been trying to get other people to make them for years and years, and I eventually just did it on my own. And here we have one of the new ones. And this one right now is raw carbon. It's not top coated yet, so it can have that really lustrous shine. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I think so.
It can have a really nice shine, like that one does, once I top coat it. But right now we just went through the sanding process, one of the finishing processes. These are super light. I've got them down to about 4 pounds, a little over 4 pounds. That other aftermarket one there was about 8 or 9, and I believe the stock one's like 12 or 13. I gotta look that up. But you can see from the stuff I have hanging up here, we make the frame out of carbon as well and bond the 2 together. It has steel threaded inserts that are specially made for composites. You see them right here. This one is very similar concept, but this is a bolt style. But all those little holes allow it to bond in with the glue, and then it has a thread. This one actually has a thread the other way. This is what I use for some other products. Okay, here's my composite rack, and I got some custom stuff on here now, but I don't have any carbon at the moment. Gotta order some more. I use it all on some of these lids. This one's in progress as well. So, about to be done with shipping these out for a first batch. Once those are done, then I'm moving on to some fan shrouds. And this thing fits two 14-inch fans, which is a huge improvement on airflow. And it bolts right to the back of my lid, and it'll help get a lot of that hot air out of the engine bay, which all MR2 owners know gets very hot. Hey guys, here's a lid. You can see it's in the process of being finished. It's naked right now, so that means that we sanded the epoxy off the surface, and then it'll get a top coat on it. But I'm working on doing these so they will be able to be shipped like that in a naked finish, because I think it looks really cool. It's got a satin look. This one's just done with pretty coarse grit, but if you bring it up in grits, you can make them look really nice. So yeah, after this, with these lids, these will be coated with a special top coating that's UV stable and protectant, and also scratch resistant, more so than regular automotive clear. So that's why I had to go ahead and sand all these down. But in the future, they'll be done in the mold with this new process, and I may sell some. But you can see I just washed this one off, so there's some water in it. But yeah, that's that. Okay, here's my paint booth. As you can see, I got a bunch of filters on this wall. That's my exhaust, and it goes off into that side a little bit. I'm getting together and wiring up in the next few weeks some heat lamps. Right now it's in the middle of summer here in Georgia, so I don't really got to worry about that. Just spray the top coat into the molds and onto some parts, and this stuff is specially made for carbon fiber parts, and it protects them from UV rays from the sun, from scratching. It's a lot harder than like an automotive type clear coat. So I've been using this product now for a few months on my stuff, and I love the results. It's worth it. I built the paint booth specially to do this, and when I make these parts, I want them to last the customer for years and years and years. I don't want to send something like I've seen some of the other parts that come from overseas and stuff. They don't really last. So we want the parts to not blemish or fog or yellow over time, so we take the extra time to detail these things. There's a lot of spraying and sanding and spraying again and sanding again and then buffing to get it where it's a nice quality part that'll last forever. Okay, so I'd like to show you guys one machine. Brian from XS Motorworks actually designed and built this machine. It's a big 5-axis CNC router, and we use it a lot. I use foam here. It's a 2-pound styrofoam EPS foam, and basically we'll just take our CAD file, do some tool paths in Fusion 360, and go here and cut it. And this is a part. This is a little add-on piece for a trike that a company called Corso Concepts is building. I'm going to show you a couple of the pieces that I've been working on now for them. I've done the molds. It's just for purely prototyping. We want to get one body on one of his chassis, get it totally finished painted, and then he'll use that for his photographs and everything he needs to do for his media. We'll bring it back over here, take molds off of those final parts, and then we will go into production for them. Okay guys, here is a mold and some other molds that we've done for the Corso project. As you can see, it's got some pigment on the surface, and that is a hard coating that I've been developing. Basically what my main goal is to give the customer the ability to get to a prototype very fast, from a computer design right to full size, without having to go through the expense to have a final plug or a final mold made. So this is kind of like my version of some type of rapid prototyping almost. So then if the customer does want to change their design at all, once they see it in full size, they don't have to go through the whole expensive process of making a final plug and a mold. These are designed to be one-use molds, but I've gotten to the point where I can do a few parts out of them. So just in case, you know, if something happens or we want to make a change, I could cut down a little bit. I always mark the origin at the back of the part, so I could put that back up on the CNC machine when needed, and I could cut down a little bit. And if it's a major change and we have a new CAD file, I can just get another piece of foam and cut it. It's not very expensive to do it that way, but that gives the customer a lot more ability to make changes on the fly, and actually develop their design, because a lot of times it looks really good on the computer, and then in real life and real full size it may not look the same, and you might want to make a change. So this is my process I've been going through for a while now, and I'm really happy with it, and so have been my customers. And it really gives us the ability to do a lot more with a lot less time and a lot less money invested into a program. So right out here we're showing Sam, and he is sanding right now on one of the parts. This is just some work that needs to be done to get the foam kind of texture off the part, and once it gets smooth we're going to spray it with some filler primer, get all the pinholes out and trim the edges, and then ship it out to Corso. Okay, so as you saw some parts outside before, and I was saying they were for a trike, this is the name of the company. It's Corso Concepts, and it's a Corso California model that they're developing, and we are doing the prototype body panels for. You can go to their website and check them out. I'm going to put a link in my description as well. And yeah, it's going to be really, really awesome. Has some good looks to it and some good performance as well. And here, check out some of their newer renderings that they put on their Facebook page. It's really going to be a really good looking vehicle. They're definitely different. It's kind of got Formula style to it. Almost reminds me of like a three-wheel Formula SAE car or something like that. But we've already done the nose and all the back panels, and these side panels are the last ones that I did the mold of, where it connects down here, it connects in the back and rolls over. So this is the next panel I'm going to show you in the computer, is how we went from CAD to making a mold and then going ahead and using the CNC to cut it. And we're in the office now, and here's another little bit of technology that we use here at XV Racing. And this is a product called, or a program called Autodesk Fusion 360, and it's relatively inexpensive, very inexpensive actually compared to some of the other programs, but it's very powerful. They update it constantly. Their support is great. I've worked with them on a number of different projects, and I really enjoy the product. It has, you know, I've had problems just like anything else, but I call them, and they've actually spent a lot of time to solve any issues that we've had. So big ups to them on that. And if anybody's looking to do CAD work and get into it like I was, and don't have the money for some of the big name programs, this one gives you everything that you'll need for, you know, a small subscription per year. So that's a little bit about that. But here's a part on here on the screen from Corso, and that's the mold, the final mold. Let me show you the actual part. Okay, so here is that panel. This is the opposite side of the vehicle. This is the top right panel, and I'll spin it around a little bit for you guys to see. It's a pretty nice piece. This is where it wraps around the inside in the cockpit, these panels here. So what I'm going to do first, or what I have done first, is because I'm going to make a mold, a negative mold out of this part, basically go ahead and spin it around upside down. I've done the mold already, so I'll show you the mold here. And you can see the part is highlighted within the mold where it is. So the rest that I built is just flange area, basically just a little excess or a little edge so I know where to cut off the excess material after I lay up a fiberglass or carbon part. This part, if we look from this side, you can see there is some negative draft here, which means the mold protrudes in towards the part. So if you try to pull the part up out of the mold this direction, it's gonna, the bottom here, the part is gonna contact the mold, not be able to come out. So what I had to do there is take a piece out of the mold that will be removable. So from there you can see there's a flat flange and there's these two holes that are cut into that flange area. So basically you do that, your part, after you lay it up in fiberglass, will be hanging there, able to be fully released. Once it's released, then you have your add-on separate and the mold's not destroyed. Just in case, I mean, we like to use these molds one time because it's for prototyping, but we also like to keep them just in case. You know, it's a lot of work and you don't want to just have to destroy them if you don't have to. So here are the positive spheres that line up directly in the negative spheres there to make one whole mold. And here are some molds that just came out of the machine. These need to be final sanded. I could have done this step over a little tighter, but it's very, very easy to sand this stuff. So as you can see, this is the add-on and how it goes on both molds. So these are awaiting sanding, and then once they're sanded, they're going to get a hard coating, then waxing and release, and we will lay up prototype parts out of these. So I'm going to record that in another video for you guys, that whole process, so you could see just how we do everything. Here is the remains of a big block of foam that we purchased to start with. They come as 16-foot long, 4-foot wide, and I believe 3-foot tall blocks, and we use a foam cutter, and I'll show you that in a second. We use these metal pieces, we screw them in to run the foam cutter, hot wire foam cutter over to get these two manageable sizes, and then we glue them to the wood before we put them on the CNC machine. Okay, so I spoke about the hot wire foam cutter for cutting this EPS foam, which is styrofoam. It's a 2-pound styrofoam that we use. We get it from a local distributor. So here is one of the tools we use. It's just a piece of electrical conduit that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's or Electrical Supply. We bent it, and then we made these little wood pieces to go on the ends, and they insulate. Right here we put a screw with just an electrical lead, so they insulate the electric from going into the handle. So from there we wrap some stainless wire. I think it's 025 stainless steel MIG wire that we use, and go to the other side, and there's another electrical lead on that side. They come out here to 2 plugs. Sorry about that, it gets all tangled on me, but there are 2 plugs on the end of this thing right here, and they go in here on this DC power converter, or power supply I should call it. Basically, it controls current and voltage. If anybody needs to know any more information about this, they sell different ones. This one, I believe, came from eBay. It was like $60-something, and it works really well. I have another bow that's made out of conduit as well. It's a square one, and it's about 4 feet wide, I believe, to be cutting large foam. So let's get to it. I'm gonna connect this one, and I'll cut a little bit of foam here for you to show you how well it works. Down, and then there we go. Nice cut. It's not perfect because there's no templates, but it does a nice job.